Hello everybody, Lila's Gigi here. This design is for my Desiree bracelet. I designed this for the Lush and Loom 2016 contest. It did not win, but that's okay. I had fun doing it. This is the plain one. This one has, I think, 6mm beads on it. This one has 8. Now, I have to tell you that I put way too many beads on that. The larger the beads that you put in this, if you choose to, the longer your bracelet is going to be. So you just want to keep that in mind when you're laying it out. But this is my design. It is the Desiree design. And here actually is the bracelet. I don't have the other ones. I gave them away. So it's kind of thick. It's a nice sturdy bracelet. It goes on all the way to the end, and it is, oops, let's try this again. This is the width that's missing. So it may be because I used these LE bands and they're actually ends up being a little tight. Oh, my dog's outside barking. I actually have 4 of them, so you'll hear pitter-patter of little feet, and you'll probably hear Sebastian right now. He's chewing on some wood. I put wood in there to try to keep him quiet. But let's go ahead and get on with this. I have decided to make this in the pearl white and the black cylindric. Okay, I am going to bead every other bead up the side, and I've done my beads for those. So with these, be black and then the silver and black and silver and black and silver. So there are, let's see, how do you want to do this? I believe it ends up being 12 beads up each side. And I also decided to bead, let's see if I can show you what section I'm going to bead. In here somewhere, it will be between these right here. I'm going to try to lay those in there. And because I used these beads, I have to lay them the same way. They are not circular, so I need to make sure that they're all pointing the same way, or it's going to look a little funny. So that being said, this is a 7 pin bar setup, and it's staggered up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay? So I like to lay a band first, and then we are going to go out to the side and just follow this around. Oops. Follow it around all the way to the top. I believe it is. Okay, we'll do the other side. My left-handy, not very good left-handed, but I give it a shot anyway. So, what can I say? Okay, so right to here, I know I told you to go all the way up. Well, if you're not using beads, of course you can go all the way up. But what I'm going to do is start with a black one. I should probably try to do this right-handed and keep my hand out of the way. So once you start to go up the side, you'll have a plain one, a beaded band, a plain band, and a beaded band. Might be able to get these on quicker because they're not as tight as the other ones. The hole is much bigger. So every other one will be beaded. Mine is black, and then I went to silver. Do the same thing on the other side. I've already laid the plain one. I will lay the beaded one. Oh, a plain one and a beaded one. So, excuse me, make sure you do that all the way up to the top. And when you get to the top, I'll bead all the way up to the top, and then I will come back and show you how to come across the center. Okay, just like that, all the way up, and I will meet you at the top. Okay, I am back, And once I went up to the top of the plain band, I brought them in, up, and in, and ended right here. Okay, so we are now going to lay the zigzag bands, and I wanted to thank Debbie of Deb's Thing for suggesting the black and white, and now I need to decide how I'm going to lay everything. I think what we're going to do next, let's just start with that. I'm going to go ahead and go with the black cylindric, and we're going to lay zigzag bands. So we'll start down here and up and to the left, diagonal to the right, diagonal to the left. We'll go to the other side here, and you want an mirror image, so we're going to start here and bring it out. Next band, next band, and next band. Now make sure that you push all of your bands down, especially towards the center. There end up being a lot of bands on here. Okay, so if you finish that up all the way to the top, I will be right back. Okay, so I am back, and this is where I ended up. Last diagonal going in onto these pins. This is what it looks like. Okay, now we're going to lay the next set starting right here, and it's going to go up, and it will be a diagonal just like the last one, except I have beads to put in there. So I'm going to lay my first band, and oh, there go the dogs. Must have heard something out back. Yeah, I sound like a herd of horses. Okay, so let's get back to this. So diagonal from here, diagonal to the right. We're going to go diagonal to the left with the plain band. And then I am going to lay my first beaded band in this section. So, just like this. So I want, these are going to have to stay the same way, because they're little hearts. So they're going to go just like this with the pointed end towards. So let's see, and that's one and that's two. All right, so if you're laying beads, that's where you want them to go. So one to the left, one to the right, one to the left, and then your beaded band. If you are using regular beads, it won't really matter, you know, how that's laid, but because this is a heart and it has a shape, I want them to all be the same. So I'm going to go over to the other side and do the exact same thing, mirror image. We're going to go from here to here to here to here to there, all the way up. Now, my first band is plain band, second band is a plain band, third band is a plain band, and because I want some semblance of order here, I'm going to take my beaded band and place it right here with the point of my heart towards the center, just like that. We'll do this one more time. Plain band, plain band, plain band, and then beaded band. Just like that. Make sure you push your your bands down, and I will finish mine up and I will be right back with you. I have finished laying my bands, these outer diagonal bands, and you'll end up right where you ended up with the other diagonal bands. Okay? Now I'm going to, this is what it looks like. I'll give you a stop right there. And you can see my little hearts are all facing the same way. I hope I did that right. We'll find out when I take it off the loom, won't we? Our next, the way we're going to lay the next bands we are going to actually lay the triangles. Now, you can do this one of two ways. You can lay your triangle like so, or you can lay, and it's a lot quicker this way. Of course, I'm not going to do it quick right this second, but you can lay single bands up the center. Okay, and once you do that, then you can go back in, grab that, and lay your triangles. That's just one way to do it. Okay, let's go to the other side, and I'm going to do it like that again. You can either, like I said, lay your triangles or lay them like this. I find that if I lay them like this, they twist less. Well, in theory anyway. So pull that up and over, up and over, up and over, and up and over, which gives me my triangles. Now, where these meet, we're going to put cap bands all the way up. I'll do a few with you, and I choose to use black because it sort of shows a little bit. Let me, where did it go? There it is. You can see in here where these triangles are, you can actually see the cap bands here. And it sort of carries this blue out to the side, and I wanted to carry my black out to the side. So we're going to put a cap band right here. Yeah. Okay. And you know how to do cap bands, so you don't need to watch me do that. We are also going to put cap bands right here. I do believe they're going to go right here. So I'm going to just use my white. And on both sides. Okay? So 3 in from the left and 3 in from the right will get cap bands. So make sure that you have pulled all of your bands, pushed all of your bands down, and finished these triangles up the center. And when I return, we will be flipping this guy around and adding a few more cap bands, I believe. I might have to, wing it because I don't remember exactly where they go. It's been a while since I've done this bracelet. Okay, see you back here in just a moment. I am back, and I've laid all of my cap bands, and I've also turned my loom around so that the open end is facing me. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go into this very first center pin. We're going to reach in, grab the top band, which is part of that cap band, and we're going to actually bring it back to itself. Very carefully. You need good quality bands for this. Going to reach in, grab the other cap band, the other triangle, and bring it back to itself. Okay, I'll do that again. Reach into the cap band, pull the triangle, give it a slight tug carefully, and bring it back to itself. I'm just trying to keep my bands kind of straight because they're very hard to straighten if they get crooked. And then back to itself. One more time, reach into that cap band, grab the top band, bring it back to itself. I guess on the bottom it probably doesn't really matter because that's the bottom. Reach in one more time, grab this band, and bring it back to itself. And do that all the way up the loom, and I will return. I have reached the end of my loom, and this is my last triangle that was brought out. One to the right, one to the left first, and then one to the right. And this is what your loom should look like. Okay, we'll get down to the end. We're actually going to work both sets of the zigzags, and we're going to work them as a triangle. Okay, so we're going to go into the third pin bar, second pin up, reach in under those bands, grab that first band, and bring it back to itself. Okay, we're going to go into the same pin, grab that top band, and bring it back to itself. Going to go back into the 1, 2, third pin, third bar, second pin up. Going to grab, reach in there. Sometimes it might get a little tight. Reach in there, grab that, and bring it back to itself. Now you'll know when you've done this correctly because you will have teardrop shapes. And when you go into this next one, you're going to have this cross band. So you have to go in underneath that to grab this band right here. Okay? And of course it's dark. Yeah, I think I might have it. Find out in just a second, won't we? Okay. So then you have what sort of looks like a little, if you're looking at it from the side, it looks like a little leaf. Okay, so we actually did that diamond. I'll go through this side with you one more time. Going to go into the third pin bar, grab the top band, bring it back to itself, go into that same pin that you just put that on, and then grab the bottom band and bring it back to itself. Now I have teardrop shape, so I know that's correct. Go back into the third pin bar, grab that band, bring it back to itself, go into that same one, and don't forget that you have to go underneath this band that's laid right across here. So go in, grab that top band, bring it back to itself. Okay, so that's 2 sets. We're going to start on the other side. Third pin bar from the right, second pin up. You go in, grab that top band, and bring it back to itself. Go in that same pin, grab the top band, bring it back to itself. Go back to this third from the right, go in, last one on there, bring it back to itself. Go into this one. Now don't forget, you've got this right here that you have to go under. The band that's laid across here, you're going to have to go underneath there in order to get this one. Okay? And I actually find it easier to go in to the side and then move it out of the way. So any way that you can get a hold of that band, that's what you want to do. Okay? And then bring it back to itself. Teardrops. Yeah, that's the way it should look. Let's see if I can get it a little bit closer so you can actually see it. Okay? So it sort of looks like a little leaf if you turn it to the side. All right. We'll do this one more time with you. Excuse me. And then I will leave you on your own. Let's go in to that third pin from the third pin bar from the right. Bring it back to itself. Go in, grab that bottom band, bring it back to itself. Go into the third pin bar from the right. Bring it back to itself. Go in underneath that cross band. Let's try to do this again. Grab that pin and bring it down. Okay, so do that all the way up the loom, and I will be back with you. I think we just have 2 steps after this. Okay, I am back, and these are the last 2 pins. I've already brought them in here. I went into the third one and brought it down and brought it across. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go in, grab that top band, bring it back to itself. Come on. A little stuck. Yeah, let's give it a little wiggle and get it to where it belongs. There we go. And then go in here and grab this one and bring it back to itself. Okay, and this is what your loom should look like. Just like that. Now, we have 2 steps left. Very, very simple. We're going to go right here. When you get to the top, you won't do this because there's only 2 bands on there, but this one happens to have 4. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn my loom, get it into focus, Okay, and what you want to do is grab the bottom, the right one, I believe so. I believe I grabbed this one right here, although that's not the bottom. Okay, I take that back. I want to grab the bottom, so I'm going to turn it again. So let's get some kind of, there we go. This very bottom band right here, we're actually going to take that band and just loop it over. Okay, you can probably grab it from here, but for me it's easier to just go into the back here. The very last band, you can see it right there, and it gets looped over. Okay, one more time on this side, and then I'll flip it over and show you the other side. Okay, so you should have 3 bands here, and I believe there's 3 bands in there. Hard to see because they're black. Yep, there's 3 bands there. So let me flip it over to the other side. This is the side that we're going to be working on now, the right side. I'm going to turn it sideways. There we go. My end of my hook got stuck up in there. Silly me. Okay, so it's the very last band. I'm going to reach in, grab it, and bring it over. I'm going to reach in, grab it, and bring it. You're actually bringing it over the pin that it's on. Okay? And I guess I can do it this way. Reach in, grab that last band, drop it over. I think you know which band has to go over, so whatever is the easiest way for you to do it, it will be the bottom band right there, and it will come up and over that pin and drop. Okay? Once we do that, and I'll be getting back to mine before we're done, we're going to go in to the middle, grab that top band, and bring it back to itself. So then we're just going to do the border band. Go in, grab the bottom band, bring it back to itself. I'm having a hard time right now. Grab that band, bring it back to itself. One more time, the last band. Well, wants to be a little difficult, so we'll go on this side and bring it back to itself. And do that all the way up the loom. And then same thing on this side, bring them over, and then all the way up for the border bands once you have finished looping that last band over. When we get to the top, what you're going to do is bring them up and over, back to themselves, and back to the center here. And once you finish that, I will meet you back up here to close this and take it off the loom. Oh my gosh, I just love this. I'm going to need to fix beads and bands, but look at how nicely this came out. And for my wrist size, now I like to use the magnetic clips, so this may not lend itself to that for me because it's very close. I may have to end up putting a C-clip on this one. Yeah, looks like I may. Let's stick it back down here and bring it back over. Yep, a C-clip would make that perfect, but I don't like them really tight. So I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with that closure there. But I'm going to fix bands and straighten beads, and actually, you know what? I kind of like those laying down like that, so I am going to leave them laying down flat like that. These little beads here. Let's see if we can get it focused a little bit better. These little beads here on the side, I will put the black one there, but I am going to leave those laying down. I like that. Yeah. So I have bands to straighten and beads to straighten, and I will be posting this soon. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial for the Desiree bracelet. Again, I want to thank, actually 2 people. I want to thank Deb's Thing for suggesting the black and white. And I would also like to thank Trish, because I had created a little swatch, and when she compared the two just in a photo, and I had forgotten to lift this bottom band down here. I forgot to lift that up and over before I did this border. So thank you, Trish, Artisan Loom, and thank you, Debbie, Deb's Thing. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. There you go, my thumb. I think I need my nails done. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for future tutorials. Have a great day or evening, as the case may be. Bye, till we see you again.